Movement is becoming more and more advanced in Apex every single day. But every crazy movement player you see like Fade, Ecstasy, Taxi, they all use the tips in this video. And if you're already a more advanced Apex player, then this video is just probably not for you, because you likely already know everything I'm about to talk about. But for those of you who aren't, I can almost guarantee this video will help you out. And if you haven't already and you do enjoy tips like this, please be sure to subscribe. See ya. Now I know this sounds basic, but you should always holster your weapons even if you're only moving a few feet. It's important to always be there first and get the jump on your enemy. If you watch clips of Fade, you'll see that he's always holstering his weapons even if he's literally only moving around a corner. But the times where this is actually most important is when you're trying to get to cover. You always have a better chance of survival with your weapons holstered. So unless you're ready to shoot within the next second, you should always have them holstered. Now if you've ever watched It's Timmy play Apex, you'll notice he has a very high sense and can flick very fast. Having a high sense is really good for performing a wall bounce or even doing insane zipline movement. While I don't recommend having insanely fast DPI where you can't even tell what's happening, I do think that if you want better movement you should go a little higher. When it comes to actual aim, I've always recommended 5.3 linear no dead zone or 5.3 classic no dead zone. But for movement purposes, I have been running 7.5 classic no dead zone. And I've honestly never felt more confident as a player than when using this sensitivity. This one is more specific to controller, but if you've never changed your binds, they probably look something like this. Now the problem with this is that you can't jump and aim or crouch and aim at the same time because you have to move your thumb off of the joystick and onto the jump button. Luckily there are a few ways around this. The way I do this is by changing my jump to the left bumper and my crouch to the right joystick. Although it's hard to get used to, I'm sure you'll find in the end that it is a necessary change. This tip is probably the most important one in here. You'll have the ability to move in ways you were never able to before. Definitely give this one some thought. It's important to note that you can also buy a controller with paddles, or you can play claw. Or you can just get superior movement the same way for free. Now I know you've all heard this before a million times, but bear with me. Probably the most important thing you can possibly do is just practice in the firing range. Whether it comes to aim training or just practicing mechanics, it couldn't possibly hurt to just go in the firing range for 5 minutes and practice something you struggle on. Before we get to the final tip of this movement video, I just wanted to say I'm really close to 1,000 subs, so if you do enjoy these tips, please be sure to help get me there. It really does mean a lot, and each and every sub helps me out. And lastly, one of the best things that helps is to just play a movement character. Being able to get to an enemy before they heal is one of the biggest parts of Apex. Even if you get there a split second sooner, it always matters in this game. Oftentimes people crack someone and they want to push, and by the time they get there the enemy is all healed up and they just die. Anyways, that's it guys, so see ya.